Hey friendo, Steve here. Welcome back to the channel. So I figured it'd be kind of fun, especially this past week when there's been news about like a bunch of releases from NXT. Some of my favorite people from NXT were released. Samoa Joe, William Regal, Timothy Thatcher. What a bummer. Anyways, I thought instead of focusing on that, we could focus on the Royal Rumble, which is generally speaking one of my favorite pay-per-views of any given year, one of my favorite matches of any given year, the Royal Rumble, because all sorts of cool things can happen. You get call-ups from NXT, you can get legends returning, exciting finishes, unpredictable outcomes. Oh, the Royal Rumble's great. It's a lot of fun. It's always been a lot of fun. And I thought it'd be fun this year to take a look at our early predictions. Not just mine, not just yours, but the betting odds. That's right. We're going to take a look at Sky Bet betting odds to see who they think is the early favorite to win the Royal Rumble. Now, I thought it was also fun to take a look at some historical context. So I did a little bit of research. On the Royal Rumble and the betting odds leading up to the Royal Rumble and see how accurate they were in the lead up. Before I let you know this valuable research, do me a huge favor. Hit that thumbs up button. And while you're at it, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Let's try to get WrestleJuice up to the top spot. Yeah, I know that just sort of bums you out, the people that want more Stone Cold Steve Austin reviews. I swear one day I'll get back to them. Anyways, so I went back to the year 2018 to take a look at the betting odds for the Royal Rumble. And this is the information that I found out. This is the data that I've collected. Going back, let's see here, 2021, 2020, 2019, and 2018. 8 matches total, 8 Royal Rumble matches total, men's and women's. Of all those 8, they accurately predicted 2 of those matches with the top odds getter. Last year, Bianca Belair was the favorite to win. She did win. In 2019 in the men's Rumble, Seth Rollins was the favorite to win. He did win. Interestingly enough, the number 2 spot 5 times out of the last 8 Royal Rumble matches over the past 4 years won. Shinsuke Nakamura in 2018 and Asuka in 2018. Both were the number 2 betting odds favorite going into the Rumble, and they both won the Rumble. That year, Roman Reigns and Ronda Rousey were the number 1 favorites to go into the Rumble and win. The following year, Becky Lynch won the Royal Rumble. She was the number 2 betting odds favorite. The following year, 2020, Charlotte Flair was the number 2 betting odds favorite. She won. Drew was the number 3 betting odds favorite. He won. 2021, just last year, Edge was the number 2 betting favorite. He won. Daniel Bryan was the number 1 favorite. He did not win. So, what does that tell us? It tells us that the betting odds are not usually correct, but they're usually pretty close. So, I'm not Diesel. These fluctuate all the time, depending on circumstance, right? However, as of the recording of this video, 11:30 a.m. on the 7th of the year, 2022, the month of January, obviously. Right now, in the men's Royal Rumble 2022 match, according to Sky Bet, Brock Lesnar is currently the favorite. Seth Rollins is sitting at number 2. Big E is sitting at number 3. Over on the women's side, Bayley is right now the favorite to win, followed by Alexa Bliss and then Liv Morgan. Now, all that flies in the face, the women's match flies in the face what I think is going to happen. I think either at the Saudi Arabia show February 19th, or even potentially at the Royal Rumble itself earlier in the card, Bobby Lashley is going to win that WWE title from Brock Lesnar. Or maybe it'll be Seth Rollins, because Seth Rollins, according to the Wrestling Observer himself, was supposed to win that WWE title at day 1 before Brock Lesnar was inserted into the match. So clearly there were plans for Seth Rollins heading into WrestleMania season. Could stand to reason that maybe the plans changed. I think that the idea is still going to be Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. I don't think they're going to do title versus title. Although that'd be cool if they did. I think they still want to keep those brands separate with their separate champions. So, here's what I think. This is my personal opinion. You got Bayley, you got Alexa Bliss, you got Liv Morgan. I still think it's going to be Bianca Belair challenging Becky Lynch at WrestleMania. I still think that's going to be the match. You don't need Bianca to win, but I think if you want to establish her as the biggest, brightest star, I think she wins the Royal Rumble. You could go with Alexa Bliss, I guess. She's a Raw star. If you win the Rumble, you get to choose. I guess Alexa Bliss versus Charlotte maybe is the match if Alexa Bliss wins. Or maybe it would be Bayley versus Charlotte. A huge return for Bayley, wins the Rumble, goes on to fight Charlotte. It all sort of depends. Do they want the big return to win the Rumble? Or do you want Bianca Belair winning it twice in a row, sort of further establishing her credentials as a big star? I don't know which one it's going to be. Right now, until I see otherwise, I'm going to say it's Bianca Belair. I don't know if Bayley's going to be ready. I don't know if the Royal Rumble's only 3 weeks away. I don't know if she's going to be ready or not. So right now, I'm still going with Bianca Belair. And then in the men's match, I think Brock Lesnar is going to win. I think Brock Lesnar is going to drop his title. Probably makes most sense in terms of a compelling single card for him to drop the title at the Rumble against Lashley. And then he enters the Rumble there and wins it. If he ends up not dropping it until, let's say, the Saudi Arabia show on February 19th, then he can still go over to SmackDown because he's a free agent. He could challenge Roman Reigns, in which case, who wins the Royal Rumble? If that happens, Bob Lashley wins the title in February, or Seth Rollins wins it in February. Then who wins it? Because we know it's going to be Brock versus Roman. So if Brock isn't in the Rumble, who's going to win it? Big E has nothing to do. He's not doing anything else. I think it's either going to be Big E or it's going to be Kevin Owens. That's what I think. I think they're setting this Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins thing up. Maybe that's going to be the WWE title match heading into WrestleMania. That's a big deal. They'd be a killer match. I don't know. You got two bad guys. Would somebody then turn face? I don't know. Kevin Owens just turned face. Heel. So I don't know. That's going to play out any number of ways. We'll see. I guess closer to the Rumble, we'll see. Let's take a look at some of your comments here before we wrap it up. This quick little video that we're doing here. Rom here says, I have 4 picks for each Rumble. Well, I got bad news for you, Rom. And the Rumble doesn't work that way. You got to have one person. He says the women's, Sasha, Bayley, Rhea, and Raquel Gonzalez. For the men's, he's got Seth, Kevin, AJ Styles, and Finn Balor. I don't think Finn Balor is going to come anywhere close to winning that thing. It's clear that they have no big plans for Finn Balor. Michael Robinson says either Bayley or Alexa Bliss for the women's. Lashley could do double duty, win the Rumble. Just depends on the order. That's a good point as well. I think they really like Lashley right now. Let's see here. Bohemian Baron says, I see Brock versus Roman happening night 1 for both titles. Night 2 will be Rumble winner for the title. Hey, that's a good idea. He says he's also partial to Austin Theory winning it. That's not going to happen. He also says Drew is a possibility. That's a bigger possibility, in my opinion, than Austin Theory. Let's see here. Jordan says, I was hoping for Bobby to win it, but I think he'll be in the Rumble now. He says he's going to go wild card and say Walter. How cool would that be? That'd be pretty neat. Pascal says probably Veer because I hear that he's coming, or maybe Braun Breaker because, Vince still runs the company. I would doubt either of those would work, but I think he's probably just joking. DCLK Gaming says Big E will win the Rumble and challenge Bobby Lashley for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship after he defeats Brock Lesnar. Man, write that down. That's a total possibility. That's totally a possibility. Is it possible? Is it at all possible that they had Big E to drop it just for him to come back and get it again? How cool would that be? I doubt it, but that'd be awesome because he really doesn't have anything to do right now. Let's see here. Moving on. E Vampire says Bayley wins. He says men's Austin Theory wins and goes for the NXT title. What? That'd be crazy. I guess expect the unexpected, right? Let's see here. The champ says, I'd say keep Roman off until the Rumble. He wins the title. He wins title for title at Mania. The women's Bayley returns as a face-to-face Charlotte Flair at Mania. Yeah, when Bayley comes back, she's going to be a face. I believe that one. Alexa Bliss Gamer 0809 says, Alexa Bliss, because I think she deserves to win. I couldn't have told by your YouTube name. And then Alexa Bliss Gamer says Seth, because he can go and challenge Roman. That'd be rad. A lot of people here do seem to think they're going to do a title unification match. I think that'd be awesome. Put Roman on both shows. Why not? He's a draw. Mike, he says Brock is going to win the men's Rumble. He says, I think Bianca gets it done for the women. Vanessa here says Lashley or Owens and Bayley or Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley's a great name. That's a really good name. They can run back her and Charlotte if she decides to switch brands. Let's see here. Quote the Raven says, I'm thinking Lacey Evans for the women's. She should be coming back soon. Jaden says Roman or the Usos screw Brock against Lashley. Brock comes out at 30, it wins. I think that's a possibility. I think that's a distinct possibility. Straw Hat says, I think Rollins. I could see him going back to SmackDown and challenge Roman. The only problem with that is Becky's on Raw and they're married, and they usually like to keep married couples together, especially a high profile couple like that. Benjamin says Dominic Mysterio. So in other words, Walter. Let's see here. Warm Soda says Big E or Kevin Owens, and Bayley for the women's. A lot of people saying Bayley. I don't know if she's ready, but maybe she is. Yeah, a lot of people are saying Bayley. Huerta says Johnny Knoxville for sure. Dex Baker says Roman and Bianca. Wow, a lot of people are saying Walter too. That's crazy. Skinny Walter's going to win the Rumble, really? Let's see here. Christian claims The Rock shows up at number 30 and faces Roman at Mania. Clay says Asuka. That's a possibility. And I don't know for the men. He says, let's go crazy and say Brian Cage. Boy, that'd be a hell of a debut for him. Nick G says Liv Morgan and Lashley. Good shouts. King Soul says Big E and Bianca. Those kind of sound better, don't they? Big E and Bianca. All right, maybe that's where I'll land. Maybe I'll say Big E. I don't know. I think it's going to be Big E, Brock, or Seth. What does Sky Bet say right now? Brock, Seth, or Big E? Exactly. Anyways, that's going to do it for us. Let me know if you haven't put right here in the QA thread, or maybe you have. Maybe something I said changed your mind. Let me know in the comments who you think is going to win the Royal Rumble this year. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. I appreciate it. Check out one of these other videos. I put up a brand new Ask WrestleJuice thread in the community tab, so be sure to leave a question there. I know I didn't get to the rest of them 2 weeks ago, but a lot has happened since then, so I want a fresh batch of questions for this weekend. Thanks for watching. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.